Welcome back to Toxic Truth, where we reveal the hidden layers of narcissism that others are too afraid to confront. But today's topic? It's one that narcissists desperately hope you never discover. We're talking about their biggest fear, the fear of exposure. And trust me, what happens when you expose a narcissist will shock you. Imagine living behind a mask, constantly terrified that one day someone will see the real you. A self filled with insecurities, vulnerabilities, and flaws. This is the daily reality for a narcissist. But what if I told you that exposing this true self doesn't just affect them, but could put you at serious risk too? Narcissists create what psychologists call a false self, a carefully constructed image designed to hide their inner feelings of inadequacy. But here's a question: what happens when that false self starts to crack? This persona is their armor, protecting them from the shame and self-doubt they desperately try to avoid. And what lengths will they go to defend this facade? You might find them both shocking and disturbingly familiar. Imagine the pressure of living a lie, day in and day out, constantly projecting an image that isn't real. Now, picture the sheer panic that sets in when that false image begins to crumble. This is the terrifying reality for a narcissist. Their identity is built on a fragile facade, a carefully constructed mask that hides their insecurities and self-doubt. But what happens when that mask starts to crack? As the first signs of exposure appear, the narcissist's heart races. Fear grips them, not just because they might be seen for who they indeed are, but because everything they've built their life around is now at risk. It's not just about the fear of being found out, it's the fear of losing control, of having their weaknesses exposed to the world. Their hearts pound in their chest as the walls of their false persona begin to crumble, leaving them vulnerable, exposed, and desperate. The more the mask slips, the more desperate they become to cling to it, to fix the cracks before everything falls apart. This isn't just anxiety, it's a full-blown existential crisis. The narcissist knows that if others see through their facade, they lose their power, their influence, and most importantly, their control over the narrative. In their mind, this isn't just a tiny crack, it's the beginning of the end, and they'll do anything to stop it. When this fear kicks in, narcissists react with a range of defensive tactics. Ever wonder why some people seem to explode at the slightest criticism? Let's dive into what's really going on beneath that rage. First, we see what's called narcissistic rage. This isn't just anger, it's a full-blown attack designed to silence and intimidate the threat. The rage can be verbal outbursts, accusations, or even calculated emotional attacks designed to overwhelm and silence. This intensity of their response is meant to disarm you, making you feel guilty or even afraid to confront them again. They lash out, not because the issue is big, but because their ego has been wounded. They need to regain control, and intimidation becomes their primary tool. The goal? To protect their fragile ego at all costs. Take, for example, a situation where a narcissist is criticized in front of their family. Imagine someone casually pointing out a minor flaw during a family dinner. Perhaps something as simple as forgetting to pay a bill or making a mistake at work. Instead of responding with humility or even defensiveness, the narcissist erupts. They might lash out verbally, accusing the critic of being jealous or ungrateful, and might even storm out, leaving everyone shocked and uncomfortable. This outburst isn't just anger, it's a calculated move to reassert control and deflect attention from their vulnerability. Before we go deeper, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced or witnessed narcissistic rage like this? Share your stories in the comments below. If you're finding this content helpful, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Toxic Truth. Your support helps us continue to bring these important discussions to light, and by subscribing, you won't miss our next deep dive into the world of narcissism. Another common tactic is gaslighting. Narcissists will distort reality, making you question your own perceptions. But gaslighting is just the beginning. What if they could make you doubt your entire sense of reality? It's a powerful tool for maintaining control and hiding their true self. They'll twist facts, deny events, and manipulate situations to keep you off balance. When a narcissist feels their carefully crafted image is under threat, they often resort to one of their most insidious tactics, the smear campaign. But what exactly is a smear campaign, and why is it so effective? Picture this: a figure in the shadows, whispering lies, half-truths, and malicious gossip into the ears of anyone who will listen. the rumors spread like dark clouds gathering over their target, creating an atmosphere of doubt and suspicion. Take Claire, for example. After breaking off a relationship with a narcissist, she suddenly noticed a shift in how her friends and family treated her. Conversations became tense, and she was being excluded from social events. Confused, she learned her ex had been spreading rumors, saying she was unstable, selfish, and the cause of the breakup. He had crafted a story that portrayed himself as the victim and Claire as the villain. The smear campaign worked, isolating her from her support network, leaving her questioning her reality and sense of self-worth. But why do they do it? For the narcissist, the goal is twofold. First, to discredit the person who threatens to expose them, and second, to divert attention away from their vulnerabilities. It's a classic case of misdirection. By painting you as the villain, they continue to play the role of the misunderstood hero or even the victim. These false narratives are carefully crafted to erode your reputation, isolate you from allies, and make others question your credibility. And here's the dangerous part. Smear campaigns aren't just about spreading lies. They're about creating a narrative so convincing that even you might start to doubt your truth. The narcissist will stop at nothing to protect their image, and that includes turning your friends, family, and colleagues against you. The dark clouds of rumors and innuendos overshadow everything, leaving you in the storm, wondering how things got so out of control. Ultimately, your reputation is at risk. It's your sense of self, relationships, and peace of mind. The narcissist knows this, and that's why they'll pull out all the stops to ensure their lies are believed. But understanding this tactic is the first step in defending yourself against it. Remember, those dark clouds are temporary. The truth can break through, even in the darkest of times. But not all reactions are aggressive. Sometimes, narcissists use charm as a weapon. Enter love bombing. Suddenly, they might shower you with attention, compliments, and affection. But here's the catch. Why does this sudden affection often feel so wrong? Don't be fooled. This isn't genuine care. It's a calculated move to distract you from their flaws and to regain control over the situation. The goal is to make you forget what you were about to expose. On the flip side, they might employ emotional withdrawal. This is when a narcissist suddenly becomes distant, leaving you feeling isolated and guilty. But what if this silence is more than just a tactic? What if it's a trap? It's a silent tactic designed to make you question your actions and wonder if you were the one at fault. But remember, this is just another way they protect their fragile ego. Exposing a narcissist can have serious consequences, often leading to a narcissistic injury, where their self-esteem takes a massive hit. When a narcissist experiences a narcissistic injury, their response can be swift and destructive. Expect them to retaliate by intensifying their smear campaigns, manipulating mutual friends, or attempting to undermine your reputation at work or in your social circles. In some cases, they may try to re-enter your life, apologizing and promising change, only to regain control. The emotional fallout can be overwhelming, but knowing their tactics ahead of time allows you to take steps to protect your boundaries, reputation, and mental well-being. And the aftermath? It might be more than you bargained for. This can trigger an escalation in their retaliatory behavior. They may ramp up their efforts to manipulate, control, or even publicly humiliate you, especially if their public image is at stake. So, how do you protect yourself? Refuse to engage in their manipulative tactics, and don't allow them to gaslight you. But here's a thought. Could your boundaries provoke more aggression? Know that you're in control of your reality, not them. And if you must expose a narcissist, make sure you're prepared. Gather evidence, seek support, and consider the potential fallout before taking action. Support systems are crucial. Whether it's friends, family, or professional help, having a strong support network can make all the difference when dealing with the backlash of exposing a narcissist. And if you think you're safe without it, think again. It's not just about protecting yourself. It's about making sure you have the resources to stand firm in the face of their retaliation. Finally, remember that public exposure isn't always the best route. But here's a dilemma. Could keeping things private play into their hands? The more public the exposure, the more extreme the narcissist's reaction might be. Sometimes, a more discreet approach is safer and more effective. Weigh the pros and cons carefully, because once you expose a narcissist, there's no going back. Understanding the fear of exposure is key to understanding narcissistic behavior. But here's the ultimate question. Can this knowledge protect you? By recognizing their tactics, you can protect yourself from their manipulations and maintain your peace of mind. Remember, the narcissist's fear is their problem, not yours. Next time on Toxic Truth, we're uncovering another powerful weapon in the narcissist's arsenal: guilt. Ever felt like you were to blame for everything going wrong? That's not a coincidence. We're diving into how narcissists use guilt to manipulate and control their victims, breaking down the tactics they use to make you feel responsible for their actions. If you thought you knew how far they'd go, wait until you see this.